So the live streaming has started. Can someone please check whether it is working fine? I'll share the link here. Okay, let's check. Let's check. Okay.
Yes, sir, it's working. Sir.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Abhishek. So, can someone please tell me where did we stop yesterday?
Sir, file handling, sir. We were going to start file
Yes,
handling.
we were going to start file handling. And what did we cover until file handling? Does anyone have any questions regarding modules or any topics that we have covered in Python so far? Okay. So, since I don't think there are no questions, I'll start with the class. It is in okay, so we were discussing about modules, and module means that we want to collect together multiple functions and multiple classes and multiple variables together in probably one single file, or it could be also in a directory. Okay, you can actually have a directory and you can then have the py files inside that, and the py file has to follow a particular naming convention. And we have seen what is Python path, what is path, running a module, right, and how to import a module, and how you have to place it, the function calls in the module file that is using the if name equal to main thing. Okay, so this is what we have discussed, and we discussed that there are certain standard libraries, like for instance for operating system interface you have the os and os.path, then the sys library, then the re math random url lib. So those students, right, those who work with say different libraries for different solving different problems, you will come across this url lib, etc. So for today, right, before I start my class, let me just show you, let me just take you to my GitHub handle. I mean, I wouldn't say that this is a huge beautiful repository, I mean list of repositories or anything. Okay, this is just some projects that I have worked on, mostly out of my own interest. Okay, and whatever I have worked as part of the company, it is the company's thing. Okay, these are mine. So for example, there are few repositories to which I have I have contributed, or else I have written it myself. So one such repository, let's take a look at this. This was last updated on 9th May 2011, and it's called Extensify. Okay, that is one thing, and you can see that it is written in Python. Then another one that you can see here is something called Picasa Downloader, which was done in 2012. Okay, so and this one I don't think is used by anyone nowadays, and I don't think this will be useful as well, because the the systems for which I have written this particular thing have changed quite a lot after after it has advanced over a period of time. So you have two Python repositories, then another Python repository. This is actually something that I wrote again in 2012. In 2012 I did not have a smartphone, and neither did I want to upgrade my old phone to a smartphone. I actually bought my smartphone. The first time I bought my smartphone, I think in 2016, and that was a very basic, phone which did not even have a GPS module inbuilt. Okay, I bought it for like 4,000 rupees or something. I was a student. I had no money, absolutely no money. Okay, zero money, and even one time my visa was rejected by the embassy after my paper was accepted in one of our premier conferences in Canada, and they rejected my visa, saying that I don't have enough money in my account and I'm highly employable, and it's quite possible that once I leave from this place I won't come back. Okay, so yeah, so let's take a look at email to SMS, Picasa downloader, and Extensify. So I'll just show you email to SMS. So let's see what it does. So about, okay, how many of you have used Git, Git? So I'll just type what it is. Git, it's a version control system, allows you to name your versions or tag the versions, and will allow you to roll back to a previous version of the code in time. Okay, so this is what Git is. It's a version control system. Okay, so I am using github.com, and I have my account called AnubJT, and there is something called email to SMS. So you can see that this was written by me. License is GNU GPL 3.0 or any later you choose. Okay, so let's see what is it. Okay, so it says a Python script which will notify you with an SMS when an email arrives in your inbox. Okay, good for people who has a 24/7 internet connection and is not ready to upgrade the old phone and still don't want to miss important emails. So this is the simple use case. So if you ask me whether this is a very great use case, I don't know. It is not. Okay, but still you can see that there are 3 folks from this repository. Okay, 3 people watching and 10 stars, because some people actually did use this when I wrote this program. Alright, I wanted a free service. That is why I thought of writing a script which will check email and send SMS through. There is a website called 160x2. I think, I'm not sure whether it is still there or not. Yeah, it is still there. So there is 160x2 through which you can send free SMS. Okay, only thing is that out of the 160 characters, or how many other characters one SMS has, right? Few characters would be taken for advertisement, but still I can send free SMS. So that's the idea. Now read me. The program email to SMS is written for those people who doesn't want to miss those important emails asking to meet me at 2:30 p.m. when you are having lunch at home and planning to take a small nap post lunch and does not have a smartphone with you to intimate you about the email. So this is the use case. Okay, this little tool saves you. Just keep it running in your lab machine and you will be notified about emails as they arrive. So I don't really want to buy a smartphone because all I use my phone is to make and receive calls. This tool uses 160x2.com service to send you free SMS. This is written mainly to check Gmail hosted email accounts, as my official IIT Roper email address is hosted with Gmail. Way to SMS provides email to SMS service, but they don't send SMS to DND activated mobiles. Okay, so that is yet another problem, because my phone, I have activated DND, that is do not disturb, and I don't want to deactivate DND and be disturbed with all those caller tunes calls, etc. Okay, this tool makes use of Python mechanized library. Please install mechanized library to use this tool. Okay, so that's the whole readme.md. Now when you look at the code base, right, you can see that all it contains is just 4 files. There is an init.py. There are 0 lines, nothing in that init.py. It is __init__.py. That is added to say that this contains some packages or modules. So for example, there is a send sms.py, okay, which will import multiple libraries like import mechanize, cookie-lib, import sys, import get pass, and then there are certain things regarding the 160x2 get web URL, check number, send SMS. Okay, so those things are handled by these code that you can see over here. And and you can see that there is a function get web URL, check number, send SMS, correct, and then there is something like if name equal to main, pass. If it is called by as a script by the and the main is to be executed, right, then you just pass it. Okay, so that's a send SMS, and then you have another one called gmail.py. Okay, so the gmail.py is where you have the if name equal to main, which means that this is what you need to run. Okay, and what it does is from import imap lib, okay, import OS from SMS send SMS, that is another file that we have seen, right. So from send SMS import send underscore SMS import time, and now you can see that check read emails, check email, check read emails. Okay, you have to enter your username, password, and all those things over here. Okay, so over here I have just kept it as example.com, and then you will be able to send the message. Say you have to send the SMS, and for that you need to use this. As I told you, this was written 10 years before, okay, and I have not been maintaining this. I used it for some time, and later, as I did not use it further, I did not maintain it as well, but it worked for some time, and that was enough for me. Okay, so this is one of the repositories that I would like to share with you. So you can take a look at what it is, what is Python mechanize library, what is the OS library, what are the different libraries and the function calls that I have called over there. Okay, so mechanize is when I have to use a emulate a web browser. Okay, so I'll just show you Python mechanize. Okay, so it's a stateful programmatic web browsing in Python. Okay, so which means that you can actually browse the websites using this mechanize library and make the website think that you are actually using a proper web browser. That's the idea of mechanize. And then when you want to learn more about mechanize, you have the quick start, the documents, and all of those things that help me get what I wanted. Okay, so that was one of the tools called email to SMS. Now I will show you another one called Extensify, which is just a single file script. Okay, Extensify is a single file script, and I'm not sure whether actually this was written by me for my friend. So he is a photographer. His name is Sandeep. Okay, so one day when I was when after my BTech, when I joined for my job, so this I wrote it for this guy. So he's a faculty member, as well as he also takes photographs, etc. He's a hobby photographer. Now what happened was one day his computer crashed, and he lost all the files and all the data that he had in his computer. Now he asked me whether there is any way to recover the files, and yes, there was a way to recover the files, which means that you can actually so even if you accidentally formatted your hard drive on your computer, and provided that you have not done anything after this particular incident, if you use the correct tools, you will be able to recover the files from the formatted hard drive. So that's the idea. So I helped him recover the files from the hard drive. Okay, so he's a photographer too, and he had recovered several files from his hard disk. Okay, he had around 8,000 files which did not have an extension, a file extension like .pdf or .jpg, .png. What kind of file is it? It just has the name, it has no extension, nothing. Okay, and in a GNU Linux box, to open a file with a specific application, you don't require extension, but Windows depends on the extension. So he wanted a mechanism to add extensions to it, and this little program makes a guess based on the MIME type and it determines its extension. Handy little tool if you have several files for which you want to add the file extension. So he had like 8,000 plus files, and my task was to actually go through each of the file and look at the MIME type. So this was also, you know, completely done by me because I wanted to solve this problem. So this is how I started writing programs in Python. Okay, this was before I started working in IIT Bombay, this Extensify thing. So you can see that this particular script, right, all it has is a main part. So it runs just as a simple script from line number 19 onwards. Okay, so it imports MIME types and OS, and then it imports, and then all it does is it walks through the directories and the files. Okay, so it goes through your hard drive folders from a particular folder where you run it from. It will go through all the subfolders, the files that are there in the subfolders, and all of those things as well. I'm not sure whether this one implements that, but you could do that. Okay, and then it will look for the MIME type, and then based on the kind of the MIME type that was guessed, right, it will then rename the file to the correct extension. So finally you will have the files with which, you know, at start you had like 8,000 files in a directory which had no extensions associated with it. So if you double click it on a Windows computer, it will tell you to choose a program to open it with. But since you do not know what kind of file it is, you cannot choose the program to open it with. Now that is where the Extensify script helped, where you could actually just run it through the script, and it will actually auto determine the extension that you need to give for that file. So it can be a PDF, it can be PNG, it can be JPG, it can be MOV, it can be FLV, it can be any file that you can imagine. Okay, so that was Extensify. Then Picasa downloader was another thing, and email to SMS. So let's say take a look at Picasa downloader, what it does. As you can see, this little Python script will download the photographs from the Picasa web album. So there's something called Picasa albums that was by Google, if you guys have heard of it. Okay, so there's something called Picasa web also, that was a software that they had earlier. I don't know if they have it now or not, or whether it has been completely moved to the photos.google.com. Okay, so this little Python script will download the photographs from the Picasa web album. It uses the RSS feed information and downloads the photograph. It doesn't require login or authentication. The user may enter either the album URL or the album feed path. Okay, so which means that some of the albums may have 100 photographs, some of them may 200 photographs. So my task was to actually, you know, I can just go click on one of the picture, save it as a image on my hard drive, then go to the next image and keep doing that. But I did not want to do that, and I wanted to reduce that work into just a script which would actually just, you know, download all the 200 photographs or all the 500 photographs and save everything into my a particular folder. So that was the idea. The script will ask the user to enter the album URL. Just copy and paste it from the web browser. Use Ctrl+Shift+V to paste it in case of Genome terminal, and once that is entered, it will ask you to enter the name of the directory/folder to which the images are to be downloaded. Note that a new directory of the name you provide will be created in the current working directory. Okay, and I don't wish to install Picasa application in my GNU Linux box and wanted a way to download all the images listed in an album rather than downloading it one by one. Hence I thought of this simple script. And later, you know, one of my friends, Puneet, he was also working with me in IIT Bombay at that time, and he found this one really interesting. He's a wizard, okay, in terms of programming and things. So he really liked it, and so he also he modified it. He gave me some. He gave some, you know, additional things here. Okay, so that's what you can think of it. And then there are some simple silly programs as well. Okay, and this one I think triple IT grades, is it the same thing as I think this is a Python application again, which was written by, you can see that it's one of your seniors and myself. Okay, and we have actually written it for I think it's this one. This is the original one. Okay, it's yeah, it was written by Dinesh, Vikram and myself. And what it does is, if I am right, that was used for, you know, display the grades on your whenever, you know, IIIT Trichy was publishing the grades, and we wanted an online system for publishing the grades, and this one does that. Okay, so we used it for like 3 semesters or so, and later the examination branch decided to, I think, you know, send the results by post or something rather than this. Okay, so what we have discussed so far, right? And then you can see that there is something called convocation registration. That is also a Python script. Oh, there are some potential security vulnerabilities in the dependencies, which means that I need to update it. Okay, and now there is something called PHP applications. So let's take a look at PHP applications. And this one, you can see that if I go to phpadmission.iitt.ac.in, the website that you see over here is what you see over here. Okay, so this was initially, you can see that you can take a look at the commits, and you will see that if you go to the oldest commits in this particular program, you can see that the oldest commits were done by me. So I thought of creating a program which would you know, fix the existing bugs in the PHP application system. And so we wrote everything using something called Python and Django. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you with regards to, you know, certain Python repositories. Okay, so PHP applications is something that IIIT Tiruchirappalli is using right now at present, because if you go to IIIT website, you can see that it says PHP applications last date 31 May 2021, 23:59 p.m. Okay, and you can see PhD admission July 2022. So this one is what I have mentioned, and for this one, you know, we have written the entire code which will do the you know, complete application receiving and processing using Python. Okay, so you can see that Python is very versatile. It can be used for majority of tasks, and this is another thing, that was, this one contains both Python as well as something called Dart programming language. So it has Dart as well as Python. This was a project by one of your seniors, okay, which allows you to have some conversation transcriber. Okay, so which means that you can do a lot of things with Python, and there are multiple libraries that are available, and you can use all these libraries or more libraries. You can create your own libraries if you want, and you can actually contribute it to the community as well, as in you can actually contribute it to the society, so that people will, if they find it useful, they will be able to download it and use it as well, right? For instance, I showed you some of my projects which were not the greatest projects, but simple silly projects which I have used to learn and do things with. You can see that even for those projects there were some people who were interested in that and who have actually looked into how to do that or use that, right? So that is a pretty good thing. Okay, so yeah, so that was about the modules. So we learned about the modules. And now why did I tell you about this GitHub thing? Say you can go to github.com/anoopjt. How many of you have a GitHub account, students? Abhishek Kumar Mohanty has a GitHub account. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to have a GitHub account. Okay, Dheeraj also has a GitHub account. Ayan Guru, Vishesh Nagar, Rohit S. Belur, Karthik AN, okay, Aditya, Mato Nishant. Okay, so that's pretty good. 7 students have raised their hands so far to say that they have a GitHub account. Okay, so Git, as I told you, is a version control system. And Git, who wrote Git? I think, did I tell you last time about who wrote Git? Does anyone remember?
No, sir.
No one remembers? Did I mention about this guy in the class in CS101?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Have I not? Okay, so this is the guy who is behind the Git, and he's also the guy behind the Linux kernel. Okay, his name is Linus Torvalds. Okay, and he did the Linux kernel when he was doing his studies in the university. As a project he started writing something, and now you can see that it's a very widely used kernel throughout the world. Okay, and he himself wrote this thing called Git. Okay, so yeah, I think it must be over here somewhere. Yeah, known for Linux, Git, and many other things. So he wrote something called a software called Git, which would actually help him to collaborate with others in terms of the Linux kernel development. And that is what he created, something called GitHub, and a Git, something called Git, and then later it became so huge. Okay, and even now there are a lot of people who uses Git. Even I use Git, and I actually suggest you, not suggest, but I want all of you to have your GitHub accounts, or have some idea about Git. Okay, so Git is a version control system. Version control systems means that let's say you are writing a program on your computer. Okay, you have written a function in the program. What if after writing the function you want to actually change it to something else, but you want the current version of the function as well? How do you do that? You will save the file as program1.py and save the same file as program1 underscore version1.py and change it. And then again, once you have done that, you might again want to save it into something else and keep doing that. But Git, Git allows you to keep track of all the previous history, or of how the program was developed over the period of time. Okay, so that is what Git allows you to. And as I told you, right, as I shown you earlier in my I showed you in the PhD applications, I believe. Let me show you. Yeah, in the PhD applications, I told you, right, if you look at the commits and you look at the older commits, you can see that that was done by me. If I want, I can always go back to one of the previous commits as well. Okay, I can always go back to one of the previous commits, and the commits, right, it will tell me what are the lines that were added and what were the lines that were deleted, etc. in my code. So that is what this Git will help us with. Okay, so it will help us to do the version control of the programs or the things that we want. Okay, now yeah, now let us move on to the next topic, which is Python language reading and writing files. Okay, so let me just quickly go take the terminal. Okay, I took the terminal and I'm going to go into the Python 3 directory. Okay, and I'm going to read. I'm just going to create a new file. Okay, so for that I'll use the nano. Oh, there's something called Othello tournament. Okay, so I'm just going to. Okay, I don't want to show that to you. Okay, let me create another one. Let's say readme.txt, right? Let's take the readme.txt from here. Okay, so this one is what I am copying. I'm copying here and emax minus nw readme.txt. Okay. Okay, and I take my IPython terminal. So there's a file that I've created called readme.txt that is available in the Python 3 folder, and the Python 3 folder is at home Anup Python 3. So I do an ls readme star txt, and you can see that the readme.txt is there in the home Anup Python 3 folder, and I type what is there in the readme.txt. It will show me what is there in the readme.txt. Now let me write the Python code that will help me open the file. Okay, how do I open the file? All I need to do is open readme.txt. Okay, so f is equal to readme and f dot read. Okay, and then I can say contents is equal to f dot read, and you can see that the contents is what is there in the file, right? So it is as simple as that, reading a file in Python and writing a file in Python as well. So it makes it much easier than your regular C or C++ programs that you have worked with so far. Okay, in Python you can read the file. So for that one, right, there are certain things. For example, PWD, it stands for the present working directory. Okay, so how many of you can quickly recollect? Let me show you, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir, absolutely. In a direct address, relative means with respect to another address.
Exactly. So here also we have the same concept. So you need to understand that the concepts that you have learned, right? It doesn't. It's not related to only C or C++. It is also related in Python. It is also there in Linux that you are going to learn, or in the operating system that you are going to learn in the next semester. Okay, so it's there in almost all the things that you have seen. So you can type the command pwd on a Linux machine. Let me take the terminal, pwd on a Linux terminal, and it will tell you in which directory you are right now. Okay, and I can go to the Python 3 folder from there, because I know that the Python 3 is there in home Anup. And I do an ls here for all the txt files, and there is a readme.txt. So, and you can see that it is there in home Anup Python 3. If you try to go back to one directory above and type pwd, you are now in home Anup. And how do you print the contents of this readme.txt? Okay, or else let's check whether the if there is a readme.txt here in the program or not, in the home Anup. No, you can see that there is no readme.txt over here. Okay, so if I want to access that readme.txt, if I want to print that, if I want to say what is there, what are the contents of that file, how do I do that? I have to then select the complete path. it can be either using a relative path or it can be either using a absolute path. So here I have used a relative path, cat python 3 slash readme.txt, and you can see that the readme.txt is there and this is the content of that. Or else I can do the absolute addressing home Anu python 3. Okay. So which means that this is also now related to the where the file is located. So you have to always look at the present working directory and figure out where you are, okay, and then go to the home directory. So in this case it is home fossee, in my case it is home Anoop /home /Anoop. So in this case it was /home /fossee. So I can go to /home /Anoop. Okay. So since I am already there, I am not going to do that. And now you can open the file f is equal to open pendulum.txt, right. So we have already done that. Let me show you the terminal. So I have done f is equal to open readme.txt, correct. And then f, what is f? Let's see what is f. F is a text IO wrapper, text input output wrapper. Okay. It is referring to the file name readme.txt and it has opened the file in R mode, that is read mode. Okay. And so the docstring says that character and line based layer over buffered IO based object buffer. So we don't need to understand exactly how this is implemented, but it says that this is a character and line based layer over a buffered IO based object. So it uses some other object as the base, okay, and then it uses the character and the line based layer over that. Okay, you can read more about the f object from that. Okay, you can also type type of f. Okay, it says IO text wrapper. Okay, and f dot, you can find out what are the methods that are associated with f. You can see that the f dot read, okay, f dot read line, f dot seek, all f dot tell, f dot truncate, f dot write, f dot, okay, write lines. These are all the methods that are associated with the object f. And what is f? F is equal to open readme.txt, or in this particular case f is equal to open pendulum.txt. Okay. So f is a file object, shows the mode in which the file is open, read mode. Okay. So you can always do, say like what I have done is contents, right. Oops, contents is equal to f dot read, and what we have seen here was pend is equal to f dot read and print pend. If I do print contents, it is going to print everything in proper way. Okay. Earlier when I typed just contents, right, it printed the entire content and it also printed the backslash and everything, but the print prints it beautifully. It prints everything in paragraphs, etc. Okay. Otherwise you will have the backslash ends and everything in your actual string. Okay. Now we have read the whole file into a variable pend. Okay. You can split the lines using pend.split lines. So let's try that. Contents list is equal to contents dot split lines. So what does split lines mean? Split lines means it is going to split everything based on the backslash n, correct? Do you guys all agree with that, what I said?
Yes, sir, it will.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I can create contents underscore list as split contents dot split lines. Okay. Now I take a look at contents underscore list. Sorry, contents underscore list. Okay. And I now type what is the let's see what is the type, and let's also look at what is the length of contents underscore list. You can see that there are 11 lines and it is all a list. So let's see what is there in the contents underscore list. and you can see that it has now taken away the backslash n's, correct, because that is what you wanted. We can also do it another way. Instead of contents underscore list is equal to contents dot split lines, I can do split. Oh, this splitted it by spaces also. Okay, so which means that I need to give it a specific character with what I need to split. Okay, this is now splitted it with the lines. So earlier it split everything into words using the split function, but with the split lines or the split backslash n, it gives us a list of all the number of lines that are there in the file. So you have f is equal to open pendulum.txt, and pendulum.txt is given in single quotes or double quotes. Okay, and pend is equal to f dot read. So in our case we had f is equal to open readme.txt, and then contents is equal to f dot read and print contents, then contents underscore list is equal to contents dot split lines or contents dot split of backslash n, and that gave us the complete list of the lines that are there in the file contents dot readme dot txt. Okay, so in this particular example, pend is a string variable, and in our example contents is a string variable. So if I type what is the type of contents, it's a string variable, and you can see that contents is the complete string that you can see. So we can split it at the new line characters into a list of strings. So that is also possible. Okay, now how do you close a file once you are done with reading and everything? Okay, so you can do it by using the function f dot close. So we have the text IO wrapper, right, f, and I have f dot close, and this way f is now closed. Okay, and then I can open it again, and whatever we have learned in your CS101 previous year, right, which were regarding the reading character by character, okay, file pointer, etc., all of those things kind of stay there only. So with f dot close you will be able to close the file, and with again you can open the file with f dot open, and that would actually again move your cursor from the last point to the first of the file. Okay, you can also do it, you can also read it line by line, say for line in open pendulum.txt print line. So for example, let us try to create okay, let me look for the pendulum.txt in the just a second, cd git. Is it here? No. Okay, there is no I'm not sure whether it is there. Okay, I don't think it is there, so I will have to search. It is in my old laptop. Oh, by the way, it is available here also. It's in the Python workshops basic SciPy basic data. Okay, it is there. We have the pendulum.txt. Okay, so I am going to now copy this pendulum.txt to the Anu Python 3. Okay, cp pendulum dot txt to Anoop. So I have to copy it to Python 3, right? Right. So we have now I do an ls star.txt, and you can see that now we have a pendulum.txt as well as readme.txt. Okay. Now let me also check whether what is there in the pendulum.txt. So I will use the cat program, and you can see that it gives you the two coordinates. Okay. Yeah. So let's, the first thing is that we want to actually open it line by line, and we have seen that in the pendulum.txt, right, in each line, okay, in the file contains multiple lines, and in each line you have two values, and the values are separated by a space, correct? Do you all of you guys agree with what I have told you? So I'm telling you that in the pendulum.txt file you have multiple lines, and in each line you have two values, one value on the left and then a space, and then you have another value on the right. Do you guys all follow what I have told you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now let us see what happens when we are trying. Okay, let me also open it and show it to you. So I'll open it with Emacs, xf, Python 3, pendulum.txt. You can see that the contents of the pendulum.txt is this. Okay, the first line has some value 1.000 e raised to minus 1. The second value is 6.9004 e raised to minus 1. Okay, and then in the next line you have again two such values and so on, and the whole program contains a total of 90 such entries, 90 such lines, and the last line is 91, which has nothing. Okay, so you can see that line number is shown over here. Okay, as I move my cursor, so there are total of 90 lines like that, and you can see that when I move my line to the bottom, it goes to the line number 91, but in line number 91 there are no characters other than I think a \n or a space. Okay, so right, so I'm going to close this particular thing. Oh, I don't have to close it. And now let us try to read it line by line. For line in open pendulum, it has to be in double quotes, okay, or in single quotes, pendulum.txt, print line, comma, I am going to print an additional \n. So you know, so that it comes with two line spaces. Okay, so you can see that I have now read everything line by line, and I have printed it line by line. Correct? Do you all of you guys agree with me? Do you guys follow what I have done? So for line in open pendulum.txt, print line. The file object is an iterable. We iterate over it and print each line. Instead of printing, collect lines in a list. That is something that you can do with the second example. Students?
Yes, sir.
Do you follow what I have done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you write the program, modify the program in such a way that it will print the values, the left value and the right value separately as well? Okay, so let's try this line list first. Yeah, okay, try that. So before that, let's try this line list also. Line list is equal to, what does this create? It creates an empty list, correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it created an empty list. We type what we look at what is the type of line list. It's a list, and we look at what is the length of this line list, and you can see that it is 0. Okay, and what we want to do now is for line in open pendulum.txt, okay, line list, oh I'm sorry, list dot append line, okay, and you can see that the line list contains all the separate lines, correct?
Yes.
Right. Now let us try to divide it further, or okay, let me try to do that. So instead of this, L comma R equal to line dot strip. Do you guys remember this? This is something that we have already done in our class. Print. I'm going to just print all of it as a tuple. Do you guys see what I have done? I have taken the individual values. Oh, by the way, this was actually these are all string values now, okay, and if you want to convert it into integer values, you have to do it that way, or if you want to convert it into floating point values, you have to do it that way. So let's try to do that, okay. L comma R equal to float of L comma float of R, okay. So that converted the values into floating point values. Do you all agree and follow what I have done over here, students? I'll show you the code once again. So this is a code.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys agree with that, right? Sure, thank you. So now the question that I had asked was what was the question I asked? Can someone please repeat? I think I lost
It
it.
was to separate the left and right part of that.
Yes, yes, okay, we have already done that, so I think that question is now no longer required. So you can actually, why did I do this line dot strip?
And it removes the first and means.
Yes, it removes the backslash
Yes.
n, and if there is any space before this 7.5 or after this
Yes.
0, it will remove all those things. Yes, it won't remove this space in the middle, okay, and that is why you have the split function for that. So we use the split function for that, okay, and we split it with the space. So the file object is an iterable. We iterate over it and print each line, and instead of printing, collect lines in a list can be done with this way, okay. And if you want to convert the values, right, you want to put all these values into a list as well, you can do it. Now let us, so that was about reading the file. Now let us take a look at how to write the file, okay. So f is equal to open new file .txt. So if you had to just open it for reading, you would not specify any other parameters, you just need to specify the file name and it will open it by default in the read mode. If you want to write into a file, you have to specify the name of a new file to which you want to write the contents. So new file .txt in write mode, and then you can do f.write hello world and f.close to close that file. So let's just take a look at the different txt files that are there in this particular folder. There is pendulum.txt and there is readme.txt. Okay, so what I am going to do right now is f is equal to open, okay, let's say new file .txt in write mode, okay, and you can see that it has created f, and f is again a text IO wrapper, okay, and f dot write function is there, okay. So f dot write, hey guys, okay, and then I can again, I have to do character by character, okay, \n. It returns what? It returns the number of lines, number of characters that were written, okay, and then f dot write I am I'm putting the content into a text file using file write operations in Python programming language. Okay, I can do it this way. I have written 101 lines, 101 characters, and then f dot write \n. So that will print, an additional empty line. That will give an additional empty line, and f dot write done with the example \n, and f dot close the file. Let's take a look at %hist minus n. Whatever we have done was, we have done f is equal to open new file dot txt w, and then f dot write hey guys, then \n, then f dot write I am putting the content into a text file using file write operations in Python programming language, and then I have written done with the example. Now let us take the Emacs and see whether we can open the new file .txt. Yes, the new file .txt is there because I just typed ne and I pressed tab, and you can see that it has actually auto completed it as new underscore file.txt, and I'm just going to open it, and you can see that this is what we have put in the file using our write function in the write method in the f.open. Clear, students? So
Yes, sir.
so reading files very easy in Python, writing files even easier in Python. Okay, so the only difference is the write mode, W mode over here. Okay, not the W mode will clobber existing file. So if I'm done with this, I'm just closing this, and I'm going to do the f dot open once again. F is equal to open new file dot txt w, okay, and I'm going to do f dot write 1 2 3 and f dot close. Can you now tell me what would be the content of this new file dot txt? Anyone? Any wild guesses?
Sir, 1 to 3 will be
1 to
added as the
3, I
file.
think.
Yes, it will have the values 1, 2, 3. What happened to the previous values? Hey guys, I am putting the content into the text file. What happened to that one?
Sir,
It got truncated.
it
got
got
truncated when you opened it within the W mode. That's
yes.
the correct thing, because that's what happens in C programming language as well, if you remember it. Okay. So if you open an existing file, then it will just delete the contents of the file, and then it will create it as a new file, or else you can open it with the A mode. So let's try saving it, closing it, and I'm now again going to do this thing with A mode. That is for appending, is what I think. Okay, so instead of 1 2 3, I'm going to write 9 8 7, and then I do an f dot close, and I go back, take the Emacs. Okay, so it is in Python 3 and new file dot txt, and you can see that now earlier it had 1 2 3, and since I opened it in the append mode, I could append the new lines 989 987. Clear, students? So you can open with open file name and the mode, and you can close it with f dot close, and you can write to it with f dot write. You can read from it using f dot read. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, in Python 2, right, if you want to write to the file, okay, in Python 3 this was very easy, but in Python 2, if you want to write to the file, you can do print hello world, file is equal to f, where f is the object for the opened file in the write mode. Clear, students? So that's the subtle difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So instead of using f dot write hello world, here we will do print hello world file is equal to f, and the print function is imported from the future. Okay, students? So just pass the file keyword argument and print works normally. So adds new line. Okay, so let's take a look at this exercise, parsing data from file. Okay, so now this is now getting interesting. Okay, so now I have actually started writing Python code just for processing multiple files and doing things on my operating system. Okay, so let's say we have some content. Okay, files with the records like the above one is given. So a colon 010002 colon semicolon it is, okay, semicolon AMY space A semicolon 058 semicolon 037 semicolon 42, so on, right? So you can see that file with records like the above one is given. Each record has fields separated by semicolon. Okay, region code, roll number and the name. So the region code A, roll number is 010002, the name is Amy A. Okay, so and the marks are the first one, okay, second one math, science, social and total. I think it is and then you have the pass or fail indicated by P/F. W is withheld, else it is empty. Okay, so you can have P or F here, and here between these two semicolons it can either be empty if it is not withheld. If it is withheld, it should have the W letter there. Okay, we wish to calculate the mean of the marks in the region B. So that's the question. Can you write the program for that? So this is a question, file parsing problem. The question is, you have okay, let's try to create this file, or let's try to see whether this file could be there in the data. Is it the data.csv? Let me see, data.csv. No. I don't think that files, though, I mean those are here in this one. So we can create it ourselves if you want. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to yeah, save it as a new file. Okay, exam data .txt, let's say .txt, and it should be like A, that's the region, then 010002 AMI A, oh I'm sorry, then 058, then 037, then 42. Why is are you guys able to understand what exactly this 058 and 037 are? Because I have a feeling that it is actually oh, okay, I know, it's the first language and the second language marks, and then the math, science, social. First language, second language, math, science, social and total. All right. So I got confused because of the way they have used 058 and 037 over here. That doesn't make much of a difference. It's okay. 35, 40, 212, P. Okay. 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212, 212 Okay, so this would be what the file would look like approximately. Okay, so it could have one entry in one line and a withheld entry in another line. Okay, but what we are really interested in is we want to actually find out the marks that are the average marks in the region B. Okay, so this would be the file approximately like. So, file with records like the one above is given. Each file has fields separated by a semicolon, region code, roll number and name. Marks is the first language, second language, math, science, social and the total marks. Pass and fail indicated by P/F and W if withheld and else empty. We wish to calculate the mean of the math marks in region B. Who is going to write the program? I am not going to write the program. In fact, I don't want to even show you how it is to be written. Students? Is it a very difficult thing or is it an easy thing?
So trying.
Trying, very good. So, I think that should be fine for today, right? Can I call it as a day and leave it here?
Okay, sir. As you wish.
Okay, because because I want you guys to do this and try it out. Because if I am going to give you the solution, right? If I am going to tell you the solution immediately, then it is quite possible that you will think that ये तो बहुत आसान है, simple है और सोचेगा कि ये बिल्कुल like it went into your head, but it wouldn't have happened actually that way. Okay, you might just be able to repeat it with me, but since you have not practiced it yourself, you will forget it very easily. So, I want you to, okay, let us try to create the file first. So, we have RAM, okay, let's have some more. So, I will take the attendance in the meantime.
Yes.
So, IN, Abhishek is there, Aditya is there.
Presence.
IN is also there? Okay, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Afrit presence.
Afrit, thank you Afrit. Akash?
Yes, sir. Akash was also there in the starting.
Yeah, sure, thank you. Anshika, Badraksh? Okay.
Yes. I think Anshika was there, sir.
Thank you. Bhadraksh,
Yes.
Gopesh,
Rituraj, sir.
Rituraj. Thank you, Rituraj.
Sir, 13 present, sir.
13. Thank you, Glory Alex. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay.
Sir,
Dheeras,
15 also present, sir.
yeah, 15 Karthikeyan present, okay.
Yes, sir.
And Dheeras also is present, I believe.
Yes, Dhira.
Yeah. And Abhishek, Krishna Swaroop, Nishant Raj.
Krishna was there in the
14,
meeting.
sir.
Okay.
Roll number 14 present, sir.
Roll number 14. 14 F marked as present.
Sir,
Yes,
18.
sir.
18, okay, sure.
20 present, sir.
20, thank you, Amulya.
Sir,
20,
22.
22. What about 21? 23? 24?
Sir,
Sir, 27.
20.
Sir, 21 also present, sir.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You can see that once again. I'll tell the names, I mean, the roll numbers of the students whom I have not marked anything. 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then 16, then 19, then 23, 24,
Sir,
25,
27.
27,
29.
29.
$34.
30 with Belur,
34, sir.
34 Subramanya, Vignesh,
Sir, 35.
35 Vishesh.
35.
Yeah. So you can tell me your roll number if I have not marked you as present. Okay. So Yelagonda Bhargavi 37, Yemma Venkata Harish Reddy 36, Shubham Joshi 33, Sheikh Bashir Ahmad 32, Rishik Nair 31, Ramavatu Danish Naik 28, Prajwal Venkatesh Sindegar 26, Prankal Trivedi 25, Nikhil Upadhyay 24, Netula Santosh 23, Malot Nishant A 19, Abhishek 16, Harshit Kumar, Galangi Charan, Bhupesh Gupta, and Bhadraksh Bhargava are absent, and Aluri Sanjana Rao. Okay. If anybody is present and I have marked them as absent, you can always tell me and we will rectify. Okay. So what about the question? How is it going? Not this
Sir,
question.
we can run a loop for that file and we can split it by semicolon by using the dot split
Yes, you can do that. Yes.
semicolon. And then we can also use strip, sir, for
Yes, you
um,
need to do the strip, and you know that
yes.
the value for the math is the third value, right? So this 42 is the
Yes.
math marks, which means that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to split it, you have to take the fifth element after you split it with the semicolon. And then based on which region you are, you need to add it and do the work. That's what you need to essentially do. Does everyone follow that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see what is happening. So you can do the split. Okay, you can do the split with the semicolon. So let's try that. Okay, so IPython, and the file name is I'm sorry, the file name is examdata.txt. Okay, so I'm going to do f dot, oh okay, f is equal to, let me clear everything. F is equal from line number 56. Okay, f is equal to open exam data.txt, and we are going to open it in read mode, so we can always specify that if we want. Okay, so I have opened it in read mode, f, and f dot, okay, 4 f, okay, lines in f. Okay, so before that b is equal to 0, So I just mentioned it as b's, okay, or I can say that b's is equal to 0, and math total is equal to 0, okay. And then for, okay, let's read the f dot read line. Let's read one line, okay, let's read one line, the first line. So we can do it as L1. L1 is equal to f dot read line, and we can see L1 is A colon the, so A is the region, correct, and the roll number is this, name is this, marks, okay. So region comma roll number comma name comma, what are the marks? Language, math, science, social, okay. First language, second language, math, science, social science, and total, okay. And okay, pass fail and withheld equal to L1 dot strip dot, I'm sorry, yeah, strip. So L1 dot strip dot split with semicolon, and this way I can take every value into an into a proper you know, variable as well. Oh, too many, okay, there is this kind of a problem, because the w, right, and then there is backslash n. So how many do we need? We need 11, but how many did we pass? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 we did. So let's try to do the L1 dot strip dot split, you know, without passing the variables, okay. So it gave us 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. There were 12 values. That is the reason why it failed.
So we can remove that white spaces.
We can remove the white spaces. We did that, right? But the problem is it is coming after
Yes.
this semicolon and this semicolon. Between these two semicolons, right, we have no value. Otherwise it would be w there. We can do one more thing. We can do it this way. This way it would take everything to the proper things, okay. For example, math, M, science, social science, right? But then you can see that these are all strings, okay. So which means that if you want to do the math marks and you want to look at what is the region, right, you have to compare with the region. If the region is A, you have to add the math mark, and then you have to look at how many you know, marks were there in the region B, and then finally once you have the math total, you have to get the average by math total divided by B underscore S, and that will be your average marks, math marks for your region B. So let me write it down for you. So this way I will be able to split the entire thing, okay. It is not necessary that you need to give this region, roll number, name, FL, SLM, SS total, PF, withheld, and all those things, okay. It is not necessary, but you could do it that way. And then what you will finally do is, each variable contains a string. Region contains the region code. If the region code is B, then add the maths marks to maths underscore total. I'm sorry, add the int of maths marks, right, to max total. Count the B, the math, increment the count of marks in B, okay, that is B underscore S, and then finally what you will do is average of region B equal to maths total divided by B underscore S. Do you guys follow this? So the question is, we wish to calculate the mean of math marks in region B. Okay, so you guys have discussed it, right? So what essentially I am trying to do here is I am trying to explain what is done in the program rather than just writing the program. Okay, so what I have written here, this is an approximate algorithm, right? Or this you can, this is not, you don't say it as an approximate algorithm, but this is the algorithm for your, this is the algorithm that you have to implement in your Python code, and then you will be able to get the average marks in the region B. Okay, so let's go further. So you can do the line dot split. Okay, so r dot split, that's how you will do the tokenization. So this is called tokenization, which means that you are splitting the line into individual tokens. So the region, roll number, name, then first language, second language, and then the marks for the other things. It could be AA as well, okay, meaning that absent. Okay, and then once you have done, since we split on commas, fields may have extra spaces at the end, and that is the reason why we use the strip function, word dot strip. So it will remove the extra spaces before B and after B. Strip is returning a new string with the value only B. So let's take a look at what the function strip does. So let's say we have a value called VAL equal to B like this, okay, and VAL is this, val dot strip will give us B. Do you guys follow?
Yes, sir, it removed the white spaces
Yes,
from
it
starting and from last.
Correct. It removed the white spaces. So strip is returning a new string. So after you have done this, I've told you. Oh, by the way, this I've written as int max marks, right? It has to be a float because you could have 0.5 also, right? And then so after tokenizing the marks, we have our strings. We need numbers to perform the mathematical operations. So math string is 1.25 and mark is float of mark string, and type then finally becomes this type of mark string is a string and type of mark is a float. So the entire thing, right, would look like something like this. Okay, so it would be math B equal to, oh, it's an empty list, math B. While this I would say is not a very good solution, because my solution I would say is slightly faster, because I'm not going to use any list or anything over here. Okay, I'm not using the Python list over here, while over here they are using the Python list. So math B is an empty list to store the math marks from the region B. For line in open SSLC1.txt, fields is equal to line dot split. So this is, this particular thing will be possible if I'm going to do something like this, say region, roll number, name, first language, second language, math, what were the other things, math, science, social. Math, science, social, total, pass, fail, withheld. That's it. Okay, so if I have in my line in my file, if I have the first line to be the field names, right? I can do fields is equal to line dot split. Oh, by the way, I could be wrong here as well. I'm wrong here, okay? Because okay, I would say that I can have a line like this if I want, but if I am going to parse it, right, in the code, I must use the index. If this is the first line, then only I have to split it into the appropriate names. Okay, if I am not doing that over here, then it means that I am applying the same logic throughout the entire file, and that is what is being done here, and that is the reason why I told you that I was wrong. This file does not contain the headers, but if the headers are there, you will see for line in enumerate open sslc1.txt, right, and you can see if I comma line, okay, in enumerate open sslc1.txt, and if I equal to 0, then you would call it as the field names, and rest is it is fields is equal to line dot split with semicolon. Then the registration code is region code is fields of 0, and region code is stripped, okay, and math marks string is obtained by fields of 5, and math mark is equal to float of math mark string, and if region code equal to b, math underscore b dot append math mark. So we will append it to the math underscore b empty list if the the list if the region code is b, and finally math b mean is equal to sum of math b divided by len of math b. Do you guys follow what is mentioned here as the example, as the solution?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's pretty simple as such. Okay, so this is a file parsing. Now if you try to convert the value AA from the string to float, you will get into a value error, and now you can actually you need to write the program in a slightly different way so as to convert it into the string, the values. Okay, so this is the program, and here we are trying to print the fields after we have obtained the region code and everything, and this is part of debugging. So do you guys remember what is do you guys know what is debugging?
Yes, sir. Correcting means
Correcting the error of a program.
correcting the
code.
errors and
Yes,
code. Yes.
which means that you have created a program, and your program was not working the way you expected it to work. Now it means that you will have to go back and figure out how to fix that problem, and for fixing the problem you need to first figure out what is the problem that is happening, right? And for that you may want to add some print statements, you may want to look at the values that are getting printed in the program, etc. Okay, so that is what the print statement over here does. So we have added something over here, and this is for debugging, and then you will be able to you can find the I have told you that with the enumerate, right? So here for I comma line in enumerate open sslc1.txt, it can, now we are printing the field number also. So at 0th position region A, region B, etc., right? Then first position you have the roll number, so that way it get printed. And this is, finally we have done something like this. Mark is equal to float of m. So m is equal to fields of 5. So I have told you earlier that this particular line contains multiple values which are separated by a semicolon. Okay, and the fifth value 42 is the math mark. Okay, which means 0th value is the region, first value is the roll number, second value is the name, third value is the first language mark, fourth value is the second language mark, and fifth value is the math mark. Okay, so line dot split semicolon of 5. So it would be something like this, L1, right? L1 is this, L1 dot split, okay, L1 dot strip dot split of 5 is going to give you 42, and I can do float of this way also. Okay, but the problem is that we have seen that in some of the lines, right? Yeah, in this line we have one of the marks which is first language, second language, math, science. So science mark is absent, AA. So if it is AA, right, and you try to convert the AA from AA to float, it will give you an error because it's not a proper floating point value. Okay, so we are printing the we have done the debugging, and we know that now mark is equal to m is equal to fields of 5. So we have taken, so let's do that, m is equal to fields of 5. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, it took it's showing you the codes that where I use numpy etc. Okay, so L1 dot strip dot split of 5, and this is what you call as m. Okay, in this particular example, so m is 42. Now what you want to do is mark is equal to float of m if m not equal to a, else 0. So this is a conditional operator. So if it is a, then you convert it into you don't do that, you return the value 0. Okay, if it is a, otherwise if it is not a, then you will convert it into the floating point value. All right, and that hence we have completed the file operations. I want you guys to now ask me questions. Okay, I want you guys to actually now get more enthusiastic about the programming language Python, and you have to keep asking me questions, or you have to try and solve several problems that you can find over the, you know, it can be any problem that you would want to solve as well. So for example, right, here, right, email to SMS, it was not something that my professor or my teacher gave me. Okay, it is not something that which is something I wanted to solve. Okay, and same way this extensive was something that I wanted to solve it for my friend. I wanted to help my friends to do that. Okay, so it could be anything that you want. So I want you to ask me questions, and otherwise the files thing is also over. So I'll not take one more topic today. Let's try just give me a moment.
No doubt, sir.
No
No
doubts.
doubt, sir.
So what was that pendulum thing that we had? I think it is giving us what kind of values? It's giving us the time and the just a second. It's been a long time since I worked on that.
Sir, in the previous problem, can we use strip two times if we want to remove that spaces?
Which spaces?
Yes, sir, in that previous problem that there was one space where there was not value in which you were writing, sir, in the interpreter.
Hmm. Oh, in the
There,
interpreter, yes, yes, I
yes,
remember what you are
yes,
saying.
sir. In this,
I
can we
think
use?
I think you were asking me for this one, right?
Yes, sir. In this,
Hmm.
can't we use two times strip? I think if we are going to do that,
It
but
won't it won't make a difference.
okay, sir.
See,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yes,
right, because one time you made the strip
yes,
and you
yes.
apply the strip over that again, there's nothing more to be stripped, right?
No, I thought I
Yeah.
also forgot strip removed from both the sides.
Okay. So L1 dot strip, let's take a look at what is strip. So you can actually give the characters here if you want, and if you want to strip it with another thing, say if you want to strip it with this, then yes, you can. Okay. So for example, I'm saying is that val is equal to space b colon space this one. Okay. Now val dot strip is going to give me b semicolon, but val dot strip with semicolon is going to give me b, right? Abhishek?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure.
It can also be used to remove a particular.
Okay. You can ask any kind of questions, be it very tricky, and you let me tell you one thing. Okay, you won't be able to ask me doubts or questions or specific doubts until and unless you practice. So it's a difficult problem, right? Okay, so I'll try to work it out maybe in the next week. Okay. So, any questions? Anything that you want? Okay, let me see something. Data. I think. Okay, so I'll give you another question. Just can you solve it now? I'll give you another question. So, SM. Okay. Given the roll number, name, and the marks for the various subjects. Okay. Calculate the grade obtained by the student. So, like ITT. Do you guys remember how to calculate the grade for you guys? Say for example, I think I'm not sure. Programs.
Sir, GPA.
Yes, GPA.
So it was, I think, relative grading.
It was
At least.
relative grading. Okay. So, given the roll number, name, and the marks for the various subjects. So, it need not be marks, but it could be the grades for the various subjects. Calculate the GPA obtained by the by each of the student. Can you do this? So, this would be something like let us say roll number 21101, okay, semicolon, okay, comma, say Anub, comma, grades for the various subjects A plus, B, C plus, okay, B, C, D plus, okay, or D, then A plus, and F or D. Okay, so this is what I am going to give you. Now, can you calculate the grade point average? Here, right? I think let me just take a look at the academics. Students, undergraduate, rules and regulations 2022. Yeah. So the GPA, right, will be calculated something like this. So you have okay. So for you guys, it will be S A B C D E. Okay, just let me make a small difference here. It will be S. Yeah. So the values are this. Okay. Now, as a measure of the student's performance, a 7-scale grading system using the following letter grades and corresponding grade points per credit shall be followed. Grading will be done based on the total marks obtained by the student in that subject. So, I am not going to give you the marks, but I am going to give you the grade that I have awarded for you guys. Okay, and you have to tell me the semester grade point average, SGPA. And how do you do that? It will be summation of the CI into GPI. Okay, so what is CI? CI is the credits for the course. Okay, and GP is the grade point obtained for that course. So it could be, if the credits is 3, then so in this particular question, right, I can also say that in the first line I have the credits for the course. So it could be 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3. Okay. So I can say that the credits are given to you like this: 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3 for the different subjects. Now, can you calculate the SGPA in Python?
Do we have to calculate the grades?
No, you don't have to calculate the grades, because I have already given you the grades. I've given you the grades. Say for example, so the question is, given the roll number, name, and the grades for the various subjects, calculate the GPA obtained by each of the student. Okay. So the question will be, we have to do the GPA is equal to summation of CI into GP divided by summation of CI. So that's pretty simple. The whole thing depends on how you write your program, correct? So I want you to write this program as well. So I'm going to send it to you in the chat box here. Okay, write it for the lab exercise. Okay, this particular thing. So for this, right, this, I can give you, I mean, a file will be given to you with some, roll number, name, and then the grades, and finally you have to calculate the GPA for each of the student.
So what is this underscore 4, 3? These are the credits,
Okay.
sir.
No. Yeah, exactly. So the reason why I gave it as underscore is because the first line, right? It does not have the name and the roll number, but it
Yes.
only has the credits for the courses. So I've given 4 is for the credit for this particular course. Then 3 is the credit for the second course. Then 3 is the credit for the third course. 2 is the credit for the fourth course. 3 is again the credit for the fifth course, and then 3 is the credit for the sixth last course. Okay, so those are
So
your CIs.
SBCADAD are the grades, sir.
Yes, SB, SB,
SBCADAD.
yes, those are the grades.
So then it will be overlapping. If B is all, if 3 credits are, one is also getting B grade, sir.
I did not get what you are saying.
Sir, I am telling that if for grade B,
Hmm.
3 credits are there, and for grade C also 3 credits are there.
No. It's not that way. It's not that way. So here, right, every letter grade has some grade point. Okay. So if you are assigned S for a particular course, then the grade point for that particular course is 10 for you. If it is A, then it is 9. And CI, right? CI is the credits for the course. Say for example, if you look at the CS101 exam question paper, you will see that on top of that it's written credits for the course. So do you okay, and wait, how do I tell you that? Credits. Okay.
Sir, like this, sir.
Okay, so Tiruthraj has sent
It's a
the code itself.
total, sir.
Sir, in float we use the marks.
No, not this way, Ritviraj. Ritviraj, this is a cheating way, because why? Because you are asking the user to enter the marks, correct?
Means, oh, sorry, means I have not to enter the user
No,
marks from the user. Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
It will be given in a file.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's try to create that file for during this time. So for that, right, what I will do is, give me a moment, please. Okay, not required actually. Okay, so let me save this sample file. Okay. Grades to GPA underscore data dot txt. That's the file. And I'm saying that given the roll number, name, and the grades for the various subjects, calculate the GPA obtained by each of the student. The first line in the data sheet contains the credits for the courses. Okay, in the given in contains the credits for the courses in the given format below. Okay, in each line the data is separated by a comma. Okay, so this is a CSV file. Okay, so you are given a CSV file which contains the roll number, name, and the grades for 6 subjects. All you have to do is you have to calculate the GPA for each of the student. Okay. Okay, so I am saying that this is the program, this is the file that you have. So let's say I'm taking a fresh IPython instance. Okay, IPython 3, it's a fresh instance, and clear. Okay, and f is equal to open. What's the file name? Grades. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read everything and strip and split everything with \n. So now data of 0 will contain the first line underscore comma 433233. Okay, so this contains the things. So that's going to split it by 0, 1, 2 onwards. So credits. So credits are these. So credits is equal to. Does anyone remember what I'm going to? Okay, I'm going to type something for credit in credit. What does this do? This particular line that I'm going to type. What is it?
It will take the input, sir. Means when input is given, sir, it will just do the credits. It will repeat a loop in credits, sir.
Yeah. So and this is called a list comprehension.
Yes.
Okay, so you can read up about it, list comprehension in Python, and this is what I have done over here. Okay, so I have the credits here. Now what is the next thing that I need to do? For data in 1 to last, for line in data of 1. Okay, and I can do print line dot strip split. Oh wait, I can do one more thing, just a second. I can say grade point is equal to, let's say, S. So from the triple IT, you know, just a second, yeah, from the triple IT regulations, I know that the letter grades S has a grade point 10. So I have to write it that way. A contains 9, then B contains 8, then C contains 7, I mean C is 7, and this is B colon, and this is C colon 6. So C is 6, I believe. Yes. Oh no, it's 10, 9, 8. Oh, okay. 10, 9, 8, 7 it is. Then B is 6. Then you have A, B, C, D, okay, and then E as 5, and F is, I think, 0, right? Yeah, E is 5 and F is 0. So now you have grade point, which is a dictionary, which grade point, okay, grade point, which contains S, A, B, C, D, E and F. Okay, now for line in data 1 to the last line, because already I have taken the 0th line for the credits. Okay, I think, yeah, for print line dot split, we don't need the name and the roll numbers for the time being, right? So we just need the values, the grades. So which means that where did we split it earlier? 2 onwards, correct? So we can also do the splitting from 2 onwards. Okay, so these are the values now, correct? So now what I can do is, I need to do an I comma. See, this can be solved in n number of ways, and your imagination is what will decide how you will do it. Okay. So for I val, then I need to do 0 onwards. Oh, yeah, it will automatically be enumerated from 0. So I and val. Okay, I'm not sure whether this indentation would be accurate over here in the term interpreter. If this is not working fine, we will move on to the text editor. Okay, and over here what we need to do is, what is the equation? SGPA is summation product of CIGP. So CI is credits, right? So we have credits of I into val, correct? That is a small problem. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do a percentage is minus n, and I'm going to save everything into a file, percentage save, let me call it as grade to GPA.py, and I need 2 to 14, including 14. Okay, and I'm going to open the file. Is it what did I, oh, grade 2 GPA it is, yeah, grade 2 GPA.py. So this is the file that we have created so far. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, it should be fine. And x3, oh I'm sorry, x1, x2, so xf, xb, I'm sorry, xb, yeah. Okay. Can someone help me with this as well? I don't need this line. Then I don't need this line. And it can be this way. Int credit for credit in okay, so that was converted into one single line, and then you have the grade point. That is something that we need as part of our program, so let that be there. Okay, and then we don't need this line, we don't need this line, we don't need any of these lines. Okay, sure. So for line in data 1 to last, so data is the thing that we have read from the file. Okay, and what we need is the SGPA. So how do we calculate SGPA? Oh, no, it's summation of CIGP, right? So sum of product, I'll call it as sum of product is equal to 0 for the time being, and sum of product plus equal to is credits of I into what is val. Val is line dot split of 2, so it's val, okay, val, which is grade point of val. Do you guys follow what I am doing? Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is going to give me the sum of the products. And this is going to be done for each line, which means that the sum of the products have to be for each line, correct? And finally what we will have is the student wise. So we have all the sum done, and now we have to calculate the SGPA. SGPA is equal to sum of product divided by, okay, summation of the credits. So sum of credits, I think, yeah. And now print let's say there is a small issue over here, right? Okay, I'm going to do a small change here. Okay, Alt W, this is going to be like this. Okay, line dot split up till the second one, and I need to take the it contains the roll number and the name. So roll number comma name equal to, and print so I think this program has to print the roll number, name and the SGPA for each of the student. Okay, so now I am just going to show you what is there in the program. Percentage run minus I grade to GPA. There is a mistake, and it says that syntax error, invalid syntax in line number 12. Okay, so this is also part of your Python course. Okay, you need to understand how to read these errors. Okay, so it says syntax error, invalid syntax in line number 12. Okay, so line number 12 is mentioned over here, and the file is this one. So in this line, in this file, in line number 12, over here there is a syntax error. So let's take a look at what is that error. So over here, yes, I think I know what is the problem. Yeah, we need only one closing bracket there, and it has printed your GPA. Students, so
Yes, sir.
okay, see, although I told you that you should include this in your lab work, I solved it over here out of interest to actually make you guys interested, so that you will you will be able to appreciate what is happening over here. Okay, so this is what has happened. Now let's say if you want to add more, if you want to add more details, right, you can always do that, and it will, no matter how many rows are there, it will print all of it. And you can see that for easiness, right, these values are the same without any mistakes, correct, right? So this is how you will calculate the SGPA, right, for the semester. That's a grade point average. So the questions can be anything, okay, because what we are learning with Python is data manipulation, and the questions can be anything that you can imagine, and we will be writing code to solve these kind of problems as well. All right. So I have a question to you guys. In this particular email to SMS, how do they find out which are the unread emails? So unread, okay, meaning that the emails which has not been opened, because that's what I am interested in, right? So it checks for the read emails, it checks the emails, checks for the read emails, and if any of the email is not read, okay, that is when that needs to be communicated. So these, you need to understand that this is just logic that is getting implemented, okay, and it's just data that we keep manipulating. All right, so that was about Python reading and writing. Any questions? If you guys can come show me some questions, we can try solving it together as well. Okay, so can I give that as another example, I mean exercise, where you have to bring some questions to me which are hard to solve, which we may want to solve. Okay, so try that. Let's meet in the next class. I hope you are able to understand what we have tried discussing here and how we have solved this problem as well. If we if we run it through the terminal, right, say right now I have run it using the IPython interpreter. If I run it through the terminal, this would be like this. I'll type python 3 space grade to gpa.py and it will print everything, correct? So please go through each and every slide, okay, that has been discussed in the class so far, and I have uploaded all the content up till files into the materials slides folder, okay, and the videos are being live streamed, okay. So I want all of you to go through each and every topic, okay, get the
Yes.
questions from the geeksforgeeks.com and try to also look at the GitHub, okay, because these questions that I have given you are kind of very simple questions, like for instance the extensify email to SMS, etc., right? Let me tell you that when I wrote this extensify.py, right, in my BTech we did not have Python course. I learned Python all by myself, okay. By myself mean that I just sat down and read the topics and did it myself, and then once I went to IIT Bombay, I learned more, okay. So this extensify was written by me without having zero knowledge, with having zero teachers, okay. I had no teachers, and later after I moved to IDB, I started writing more things, and this one was written when I was doing my PhD. As I told you, when I had no money with me to buy a good phone at that time. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys have been able to appreciate what all we can do with Python and the things that we can do, okay. So please go through all of these things and ask me questions. That is your duty. If you are not able to ask me questions, I would assume you have not learned anything, okay. Or else
Yes.
show me code. If you don't ask me questions but show me code, then also I will know that you have learned. If you don't ask me questions and don't show me code as well, then I know that you have not learned, okay. Thank you, guys. So that's it for today. Let us meet tomorrow with more questions and more things for the lab, etc. Okay, thank you, guys. Bye. I'll leave.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So please go through everything and get some questions. Try to work your head around the different questions. Get get acquainted with programming in Python, please. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, sir.